Today we're in the Monteverde cloud forest. It was a bit of a rush to get here this morning. Had to catch two buses with crowds of poncho covered tourists with big cameras all bumping into each other. But once you get on the trail, it quietens out. All the trees are covered in moss. You can barely see the sky, and everyone's looking for quetzals, which is the long-tailed bird. Not much of a bird fan, but it would be nice to see something. Already seen some pozotes, and there is a light rain. But it's quiet and it's peaceful. Let's see how we go. Well, I've changed the trail where no one's come, and to be honest, it's hard to put it into video and photo, but it's really primal at the moment. Moss everywhere and just a light falling of condensation that it kind of feels like it's almost warming up. So maybe I'll take my outer shell off. So I had to walk these trails in a certain pattern so that I can cover every single trail at least once today and try not to double back on the same trail. And in the process of doing that, I've chosen this trail that's gone straight uphill the whole way. No one else is on the trail and I can't hear anyone below me, and I don't think they would take too many older tourists up here. So I've picked the perfect trail, and I'm all by myself in a really busy cloud forest. That's pretty cool, man. So we just took a turn, and there's not many people on these trails, which is great, but there's not much life either. So once I've walked all the trails, then I'll double back over the trails that I know has wildlife, and maybe do that hill bit because that was fun. Coming to a cloud forest is always a good idea, but this is an amazing viewpoint, and if the cloud forest is working like it's supposed to, it means there's cloud everywhere and you get no view. So it's a world of contradictions, but that's cloud forest. So we're at the highest point in the park, and this is what the trees look like. Low, uniform, windy and cloudy. So interesting, but time to head down. So I kept hearing this alien bird call which sounded like a rusty door hinge. This isn't the bird that makes it, but listen hard, you're about to hear it. The clouds lifted a little bit, not much. We're onto our second loop on the inside loop now. So there's lots of people in here, but it definitely doesn't feel crowded like it did when on entry. Ever since I've been in here, it's you see people, but generally the occasional loud people, but most of the time I'm by myself, so it's pretty good. There's a few suspension bridges in the Monteverde cloud forest, and this one is one of the bigger ones, and it's probably about 50 or 60 meters, I think, high in the center. So you're quite exposed, you get a little bit of wind and rain, but the cool thing is that you can see the different types of life growing in the high canopy. This place is home to the highest concentration of orchids on the planet, with 500 different species found just here. The reserve is 26,000 acres, of which 90% is virgin cloud forest and only 1% is open to the public. The reserve receives around 70,000 visitors annually. Home to 2,500 different plant species, 100 mammal species, 400 bird species, 120 reptile and amphibian species, and thousands of insects. With so much flora and fauna, it's often referred to as Costa Rica's green lung. Another reason Monteverde cloud forest is famous is the scarcity of this type of forest around the globe. In fact, only 1% of the global woodland consists of cloud forest, with a total of 736 cloud forest sites distributed among 59 countries. 6 of those sites are found here in Costa Rica. The continental divide is a big reason why I loved it here. This line divides the continent into the Pacific and the Caribbean. Here in the park, there's a viewpoint where you can see both coasts on a clear day. The Pacific is drier and windier than the Caribbean, while the Caribbean is more rainy and humid. Monteverde is right in the center. The fundamental differences in weather bring to life different flora species in each side of the continent. This multitude of flora species builds the foundations for more fauna to coexist together, constituting in the high density of biodiversity in the Monteverde cloud forest. That is a lot of big words, but what it means is this place is special, this place is beautiful, and it must be protected. Yeah. This is the hummingbird sanctuary at the very end of the trail, and I recommend Monteverde to everybody that wants to see something special in nature. Peace.